Most people won't notice that you're on to stuff that really matters to you, and then suddenly your job will suck a little less. You got to learn how to say no without sounding like a jerk. And honestly, I feel sometimes doing it just for fun actually is something that saves your sanity or even pays your rent. Both are your wins. Okay, let's just get this out of the way today. See, if your work is running you and not the other way around, you're not broken. It's just how the world is set up today. Boring meetings, fake urgencies, your 6 p.m.s turning into 9 p.m.s, the Slack messaging groups. So, unless you really love this, let's talk about how do we change this, right? But I want to talk about this in a non quitting your job way and without trying to start a dropshipping business on your own or a side hustle. So let's talk about 10 strategies. Some of them are unconventional to take our control back from this hustle culture way that's driving us into this rabbit hole. Okay, the first strategy is awesome. I use this a lot now that I'm an entrepreneur. Start treating your company like a client. You know how freelancers don't get emotionally attached to any of their clients? Because I work with freelancers a lot these days and I know how they work. Yeah, so become that. Still care, still deliver, but stop bleeding loyalty to a company that can literally replace you in 48 hours. Let's get real. This mindset shift alone changes everything. Okay, the second strategy. Customize the job that you've already got. Titles are really vague and they're vague for a purpose. Project manager. Project manager can be anything from herding goats to writing emails all day. Find ways to bend your role to what you actually enjoy or at least tolerate. Volunteer for projects that uses your strength. Quietly drop things that nobody's paying attention to. If you watch carefully, nobody's really watching you. Most people won't notice that you're on to stuff that really matters to you, and then suddenly your job will suck a little less. The third strategy is you building your own operating system. Stop waking up and let your calendar decide your entire day. Okay, so decide your own rhythm. Your focus hours, your weekly reviews. Set your boundaries like no meetings before 11 in the morning if you're not a morning person or something like that, whatever works for you. So create structures that make sense for your brain and not your boss's micromanaging style. I know you will say that I have to work according to my boss, but trust me, you can find a way out. I can make a video about how to deal with that stuff separately, but if you think hard and find ways, you can do that. ChatGPT can help you with that too. My fourth strategy is make very good friends with no. So people who say yes to everything in the office are actually punching bags of the office. Period. You got to learn how to say no without sounding like a jerk. So you can say stuff like, I can't take that up right now. Let's talk about priorities. These things sound way better than saying yes and then later on ghosting or biting nails in resignment. Okay, my fifth strategy is just quit performing for ambition. What I mean by this is that you got to stop working your ass off trying to become the CEO of the company. I really tried doing that for many, many years. I ended up being a COO and it wasn't really the best journey of my life. I really had a lot of burnout issues. So I'm coming from there. If you're content doing solid work and have time for life, that's more valid. Okay, let's face it, performance ambition is really exhausting and it usually gets you a lot of meetings and not freedom. I'm not attacking anybody personally, but honestly, half of the people who are climbing to be at the top of the ladder don't even know what's at the top of the ladder. What I mean is that you can be driven, but without being too dramatic about it. Okay, my sixth strategy is something that I've learned the hard way and I've then started documenting it. So my sixth strategy is document your wins like you're building a case file. Keeping a log of all the wins you've made, the projects, the problems you've solved, all the great appreciation emails from your clients and all of that, just keep that with you. And then when it's time to negotiate a raise, your performance appraisal, or even leave the toxic workplace, you'll have all the receipts with you. Don't rely on your memory. You'll forget how badass you were last Tuesday. Think of this folder as a brag folder, except this one's useful. Once you do this, you cannot say my boss doesn't notice my work. Okay, the next strategy is going to sound a little cliched, but it is extremely important. Hear me out. Treat failure like your skill set. I think if you're not failing occasionally, you're not trying anything new or you're faking confidence. So instead of spiraling when something flops, do this instead. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and do a quick breakdown of what worked and what did not work out. What would you do differently next time? I think that's learning. That's real learning and not reading 40 books a year. I think failure is only scary when you pretend it's not a part of the process. Normalize it, make it a process, and then move on. See, the bottom line is you cannot fail forward if you're too scared to move into any direction. Okay, my eighth strategy is very interesting. It's about monetizing your curiosity and not just your passion. Side hustles I feel are hyped a lot. Side hustles need not be necessarily your passion. Instead, I feel you should just follow your curiosity. Build something small on the side, whatever makes you curious. For example, freelancing is a great example. Making some kind of a content and putting it on the internet. Making even dumb content. Worst case is you will learn. Best case is you'll make a lot of money and you'll not have to depend on your boss to give you a raise. And honestly, I feel sometimes doing it just for fun actually is something that saves your sanity or even pays your rent. Both are your wins. And the best thing is curiosity is a lot less pressurizing than passion. With curiosity, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be interesting. Okay, this one is related to a point I made earlier, but this is more of the execution part. But this is very interesting and useful. It's audit your energy like a budget. Every month, make a list of things that drains your energy or lights you up. Meetings, people, tasks. Be brutally honest. Okay, now start subtracting or outsourcing this crap that drains you. Not all at once, but slowly, like a strategic plan, an escape plan. See, I think you should really treat your time like money. You wouldn't hand over money to anybody random without checking if they're worth it, right? So the same goes with energy. So if something or somebody starts bankrupting your energy, cut that. Okay, the last strategy, and this is similar to what I spoke right in the beginning about treating your job like a client. This one is treat your job like it's your damn business. You are the CEO of this business. You are the R&D department. You are everything in this business. Now, if you don't keep some time aside every quarter and do a check-in and check if everything is going all right, what needs to be shut down, what is working, what sucks. If you're not doing that, then you're just winging it. And this is exactly how people realize in their 40s that they've actually climbed the wrong ladder or they're actually in someone else's building. So do this every quarter, book a slot for yourself, go full CEO mode, book like a board meeting kind of a stuff with yourself, audit your skills, re-strategize your income streams, stock the market, even, and if it takes actually to plot an exit. See, at the end of the day, if you don't plan your career like this, if you don't take control over this, somebody else will take control over this and you will be in for a shock. So do not wait for that day. Okay, so that's kind of a wrap, but here's the deal. Look, nobody is coming to fix your career. Not your boss, not your company. So if you don't take control, somebody will take it. So if you want control, take it quietly, strategically, and relentlessly. So don't wait for things to get so unbearable and then you finally do something about it. Start now before it gets really into this urgent mode. So go ahead. I actually challenge you. Pick one thing from the list that I gave you and test it, try it, then see how the momentum actually builds from there. And I'll tell you this with experience. The real power is when you take action when everything is all right. Okay, so folks, that's the game plan, but I don't want you to fall into an autopilot mode just 5 minutes after this video ends. Pick one thing from this and start building action and momentum. Goodbye, good luck. See you in the other video.